Hello. Oh no. I figured out a solution for when my throat hurts. It's to use my new microphone. I mean, not that I intentionally don't use it for a reason. Well, I mean, I do. It's hard to it's hard to have a microphone that I can hold and also read at the same time. So, this will be interesting. I'll try this out today and we'll see what happens. Plus, I feel like you can't see my expressions fully. Also, let me know if the volume levels are okay. I don't know if they sound alright. I know I'm speaking really low, but it's also for a reason. It's because my voice is broken. So, yeah, I've been a little bit. Volume's good. Thanks, Punk. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I've been feeling absolutely stellar the past few days. So, yeah, just bear with me and yeah, we'll do a Hamlet ASMR video. It's not like the whispery stuff, but like it's low tone, you know? Volume's a little low. Yeah, I can scream for you, Lorenzo. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just break my voice. Let me let me just absolutely murder my throat. Yeah. That sounds really gross. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Shakespeare's really getting into my head, I think. You know, I'll make one perverted joke and then Shakespeare's just like, what? Anyway, so, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I just got, actually, wait. Yeah, you can just turn your speakers up, Lorenzo. You know, you got the power in the streets. Hell yeah. So I just got off of work. So I get off of work a little bit later, so I might accidentally start stream a little bit later than I intend to. So like maybe 7:30 rather than what I was hoping to, which is like 7. 'Cause I get off at about 6:40. I do. I finish at 6:40, but I have to like log in all these grades and stuff like that. Today was a little bit of an exception 'cause I had a test today. So I had to get those in before the end of the day 'cause I don't work tomorrow. What? Liberated Fridays. But yeah, so tomorrow it'll be easier. Oh, wow. Punk, 10:40 a.m. I'm trying to think. Okay. So if it's 10:40 a.m. where you are, oh, I think that means you're in the UK, right, Punk? Doesn't that mean that? Somewhere in the UK, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. 'Cause daylight savings happened again recently, so maybe not. Maybe that means you're a little bit further. Oh, you are in the UK. Man, I'm so good at time zones. I have so many worldly friends, so I know what everything is, you know. What's up to Jokos? Oh, you're in stream too? It's so exciting. I'm so excited. This is toned down excitement. Oh, thanks to Jokos. I know, they're my pajama pants that I wear pretty much for every stream. Oh, thanks, Punk. You know, well, so I have a friend who lives in where is it right now? Not. He lives in one of the places in the UK. Wow, so specific. Thanks, thanks, XB. No, he lives kind of like in that place right outside of London, with the like big what's it called? The like needle thing that like nobody wants to go to. I don't remember what it's called. England. Yes, he lives in England. Oh, Mr. Schul. Oh, you're talking about dang it, I always forget his name. It's not Derek. It starts with a D though. You're right. For a second I was thinking Damien and I was like, that's not it. Dominic. That's his name. Mr. Stolen Shirt. Oh, Dominic. No, that's not where Dominic lives. Dominic, as far as I know, I think he lives in Nashville now. He's working in the music biz, I think, as far as I know, but I'm not 100% what he's doing. He might be doing accounting now. I'll have to look for his LinkedIn. Sometimes I'll look at people's LinkedIns because I'm creepy. And I'll just be like, I wonder what this specific person is that I had absolutely no influence over their life in whatsoever. I wonder what they're doing right now. But yeah, okay, back to the punk topic. Anyway, so yeah, I have a friend who lives somewhere in I think it starts with a B. Brighton. Yeah, he lives in Brighton. I know, but you know what, punk? I honestly don't have enough shame to hide that I've been LinkedIn creeping. I honestly, you can just open incognito, dude. Like, just open incognito, and then you can get, like, all of the really unspecific stuff that people have been doing. I have a friend who lives in Japan. You're right, Tajokos. I have a friend who lives in Japan. I have a friend who lives in Brighton, England. I have a couple friends who live in Europe. I have a friend from Egypt. He's living in the U.S. right now, though, so not as exciting. But the thing about Egypt is I'm pretty sure that they're maybe like 1 hour ahead of Europe, maybe like the majority of Europe, other than the UK. I know. Well, I have many friends who live in Australia, actually, Lorenzo, no offense. But I've met a couple of people from Australia. But Australia, I really want to go to Australia and New Zealand. I know how Australian people feel about the Kiwis, but at the same time, I also want to go to New Zealand. I know more, at least culturally, about New Zealand than I do about Australia, but I also still want to go to Australia. I'm a very big travel person, clearly, because I mean I live in a very different country from the one I originate from. I'm trying to think. I also know somebody from Brazil, from Mexico. Yeah, okay. That's about it. That's about as far as I can flex. I can't flex all the way down into the deep South Americas, but I mean Brazil is about as far as I can go down. I want to explore South America too, but I feel like now is not the time. Yeah, I mean, well, New Zealand looks really pretty. I just remember, so when I was a kid, there was this movie. Also, I promise we're going to get to Hamlet eventually. But there was this movie that I used to watch as a kid. It was called Whale Rider. I don't know, most people probably don't know about it. It's pretty I think it got nominated for like an Academy Award. I know the girl who was in it did. Yeah, I know. Tajokos, you're honestly right, is I do have a lot of internet friends, which is nice. Honestly, I remember man, I'm so bad about digressing. It's really nuts how you can make friends on the internet now. It's amazing, actually. Like, it's a really impressive thing. I used to chat with people online, but I mean I never really became. I tried to get a pen pal, actually, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I went on Reddit because there's like this pen pal feed, and I was really excited because there were all of these people who wanted to be pen pals, and it's really hard to. I didn't want to have a physical pen pal because I didn't want anybody to know my address, and I didn't want to get a P.O. box, if you know what I'm saying, right? Because especially if I'm going to have somebody that I don't know at all writing me letters, which I mean, I currently write letters with my grandfather. I write him a letter every week. Fun fact. But and I like writing physical letters as well, but I also want to have somebody else, because, I mean, he's old. He's, like, in his 80s. And, I mean, we talk about death a lot, my grandfather and I, because he's, sorry, I shouldn't talk about death right now. I know Tajokos doesn't like talking about death. Anyway, so, like, I need to find a pen pal, grandpa with experience. I know, right? I know. I should do a grandpa with experience interview. He's a cool guy. I mean, so he doesn't really find himself to be anything extraordinary or remarkable. I think most people find themselves to be that way anyway. is they're like, you know, I'm not anything cool or special or interesting. But, you know, when you get to know people, it's those small things that they do or getting to know those people that really makes them special and really unique. You know, it's not necessarily just the things that they do, but it's also who they are as a person or the things that they gained from those experiences, right? And so I really enjoy being around him and being with him and talking to him. I know he's my grandfather. Of course, he's extraordinary. Well, he's a very interesting guy. He's very quiet, and that's something that I always noticed about him, and he's very old school. One of my favorite memories with my grandfather. This is so pertinent to Hamlet. One of my favorite memories with my grandfather is that we would get these really giant packs of popsicles. And so there are different kinds of popsicles that you can buy at the store. So there are the ones that are on the sticks where you can buy them and they're already like pre-made and whatever. But you can also buy popsicles that are just like plastic, essentially plastic tubes, right? I don't know if they sell these everywhere. I'm pretty sure that they do, but it's just like juice in a plastic tube, and then you put it in the freezer, and then, you know, you eat it. But anyway, so there's this really specific brand that I really, really like. And honestly, like, even to this day, it's like, holy hell, it's really good. And they're called Flavor Ice. And it's honestly like the cheapest and probably the most trash thing you could ever put in your body. But honestly, holy crap, they're so good, and the flavor's so good. It doesn't taste plasticky. It's like it's flavored so well. It's like the only popsicle that I can eat and be like, damn, I want another one. But no, so we got an 100-pack box together, and we just ate the entire box throughout the day. And it was nuts. Like, I mean, even now, if I'm eating them by myself, I will go through a 20-pack in an hour. It's crazy, which, to be fair, I do eat a lot in general. A lot of people don't, they underestimate my eating ability, but it's because I eat really slow. So, like, if you give me a time limit to eat, I'm going to eat at the same pace as if I had no time limit. But the thing is, I'm still going to be a little bit hungry afterwards. But if you give me 2 hours to eat something, I will finish that pizza, okay? I will eat all 8 slices. People always ask me, they're like, "Are you hungry?" And I say, "I'm always hungry because I am. I'm literally in like a bottomless pit for food, and I don't know why." Today I went to eat pho with a friend of mine. And he said to me, "Oh man, these large bowls, they're so big. I didn't think they were going to be this big. Sorry for ordering you a large." And I was like, "Oh no, it's okay. I'm kind of hungry. So, you know, I'm going to eat some, I hope." He's like, you don't have to finish it. It's okay." And then, and then I finished the entire thing, and he looked at me, and he was looking at his bowl, and his bowl still had food in it. He was like, "How did you finish that?" And I said, "I was hungry." I was hungry, and you presented me with all of this food, so I'm going to eat it. So, yeah. Dude, these popsicles are so good. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I remember whenever I was in college, I went to probably 4 different stores just to find them, and they only come out seasonally, and they come out with all of these strange flavors too. You got to get the original rainbow, okay? It's like 6 to 8 flavors. Oh, but they're so good. They're so good, bro. Okay. But yes, yes, that was an epic day of pleasure because I got to eat so many popsicles. It was amazing. Which reminds me, I'm so excited for summer to come too. Right. What's up, Captain? Welcome to chat. Hello, hello. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm hyped for summer. I'm excited for it to get warmer because right now the weather's been a little bit of a tease. It's been it's warm and then it's not warm, and I think that's a little bit why I'm sick too, is I've been taking my allergy medicine and everything, right? But at the same time, like, the air pollution has been a little bit bad, and then it gets cold, and then I'm like, I should wear a sweater, but then I'm also like, I kind of started packing away my sweaters because it started getting warm. Because I'm a planner, but the funny thing about my planning techniques is I'm a wishful thinking planner, which is it's not effective for actual reality, right? So like I'll put my sweaters away before it's actually warm outside, and then it's because I'm thinking, oh yeah, it was 60 degrees yesterday. It's never gonna be below 50 degrees ever again. At least not until it's winter time again. And so I'll just like pack the sweaters away, and then I'll just shiver through March and April with my short sleeves or my light long sleeves. And yeah, I'll just like put a coat on over it and call it a day. 'Cause today I wore this to work because they blast the heat, right? And then all of my students were just like, "Hey, teacher, aren't you cold?" And I'm like, what? Yes. Because they stopped blasting the heat, and I don't know why. They turned off the heaters, and I was just like, bro, I've been sweating for the past 2 weeks, and then you turn off the heat? What the heck, bro? Not cool. Oh, yeah, so I take Claritin actually, but, yeah, it's not helping. It was 37 degrees. Oh, I'm so jealous. See, Lorenzo, this is the thing. I like sweaty weather, okay? It's my favorite kind of weather. I like humid weather. I like hot weather because it's nice, you know? 'Cause everybody smells bad, which is great. Well, I mean, to be fair, so in Korea, fun fact, in Korea, people's sweat doesn't smell like anything. So if anything, I'm just the only person smelling bad, but it's fine. And then, so I smell bad. Everyone else is like glistening and imagining what it would be like to smell as bad as I do. And then, you know, you can go swimming, you can do other things that are fun. I like when my knees are weak and my palms are sweaty and when I'm vomiting up all of my mom's spaghetti. I know, Lorenzo. Well, yeah, 'cause in Australia, yeah, of course. But isn't Australia about to hit up winter time though? I know winter time isn't as extreme as it is in other places in Australia, but I know it's about to start getting cold there because the seasons are changing. 'Cause I mean, the northern hemisphere summer is the southern hemisphere winter. 'Cause I paid attention in elementary school, but I don't think it doesn't drop really low though. That's it, just 20. It hasn't even been 20 here yet at all. It maybe hit one day where it was 20 degrees. And so I'm pretty disappointed. Oh my gosh, I realized I was talking in Fahrenheit. Sorry to everybody else who doesn't understand Fahrenheit. Typically I will use Celsius, which is interesting. Like I have everything set to Celsius too. And I learned Celsius and I've learned Celsius for many, many years, but I'll still refer to things in Fahrenheit sometimes. So sorry if that was confusing. What I meant was when it hits above 50 degrees, aka like 17, 16, I get excited and then I just like pack everything away. Yeah. No, Lorenzo, no, I don't think the majority of people I don't think the majority of people in the chat use Fahrenheit either. So if anything, I was the one who was being confusing. No, I use both. So yeah, sorry everybody. Sorry about that. But yeah, okay. I'm going to get started with Hamlet because that's what we're here for, right? I mean, here, hold on. I'm going to take a drink of water for a second, momentarily. I muted it because I thought that the lid was going to be really loud. And it just let out like the tiniest squeak. It was as if like a hamster was about to enter its wheel, but it wasn't oiled enough. But it was just like one squeak, and then as if the hamster was like, nah, bro, I'm not dealing with this. Yes, we should use kelvins. Dude. I wonder if there are any other, because I know the three most popular are that Kelvin is popular. You know, Kelvin, Kelvin. Kelvin, uses true zero, or absolute zero. My apologies to the scientists out there. I got into a heated debate about monosaccharides and disaccharides the other day, and I got called out for my inability to distinguish simple sugars and simple carbohydrates. And I got really, I beat myself up pretty hard about not really. But we were, my fellow scientist got upset about it, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I was just trying to talk about carbohydrates, man. And like they were telling, because somebody was telling me about, what is it, we were talking about starches, and then I said something about, oh, I think it was rice. Yeah, we were talking about rice, and I was saying that rice was a simple carbohydrate. Because I thought white rice versus brown rice, I thought brown rice was a complex carbohydrate versus white rice, which is a simple carbohydrate. But anyway, the Hobbs scale. Ooh, that sounds really... So wait, would absolute zero just be infinity to Jokos if it's the opposite? Because if zero is... Or would it be like 274 or whatever the heck it is that is boiling? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, we're going to start Hamlet. Rice is good if you're hungry and want to eat 10,000 of something. I love... Oh, I'm sorry to Jokos. Woof. Lorenzo, it's funny because I'll always have this conversation about like count versus non-count nouns, where like if you don't count how many grains of rice you eat whenever you're eating the rice. You don't, which I mean, I know somebody in chat's going to get fired up and be like, I count all the grains of rice that I eat when I eat rice. I count out 100 grains every day and then I eat my, which honestly wouldn't be a lot. So maybe 1,000. Anyway, but yes, I always like a good non-count noun joke, which is a very specific niche kind of joke. Oh, Captain, you're coming from a Fahrenheit land. Okay. I'm trying to remember what countries use Fahrenheit because I know the US uses Fahrenheit. I don't remember if the UK uses Fahrenheit because I know they use like miles and feet and stuff and pounds. But yeah. Anyway, cool. So let's read Hamlet for real this time. We're going to open the book. Hold on. Okay, now it's time. Yes, Hamlet, what we all came here for, what we all came to listen to. Okay, the UK does use Celsius, got it. Oh, thank you, Captain, for the subscription. I appreciate it. Welcome to the crew. Okay, so yesterday we left off. I'm trying to think. Where did we leave off yesterday? Oh yeah, okay. So we left off with Hamlet and the king kind of... Oh, Captain, my Captain. Lorenzo, wrong piece of media, okay? This is not Dead Poets Society. So, we left off at Hamlet kind of fighting with his uncle, who became the king. If you do not remember, Hamlet's uncle is the king because he killed Hamlet's dad. Oh, wait, no. We don't know that. Sorry. We're rereading this, so I forgot we didn't go over this yet yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. I'm gonna like make the rewind time. Okay, so yesterday Hamlet was fighting with his angsty uncle. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lorenzo, don't come for me, okay? I'm sorry. Ugh. Um so I know, right, Viper? Also welcome to chat. So Hamlet was talking to his uncle who became king because Hamlet's father died, who's called Hamlet Senior. And not actually, but he is Hamlet Senior. I know, I should be cancelled. Thanks to Jokos. Yeah, cancel me in chat. But anyway, so the thing about it though is that some of these guards and like police officers that work with Hamlet are at the castle that Hamlet lives at, and also Unky Cornelius, aka the King of Denmark, have seen a ghost recently, and they're like, bro, we seen a ghost in the shadows. Lorenzo, I swear. Put the picket signs away, guys. I'm trying to recap here. It's okay. You can you can form a picket line while I'm doing this. That's fine. It's okay. It's what Hamlet would have wanted. It's what Shakespeare would have wanted. Shakespeare likes the angst. It's okay. It's double angst happening right now. Anyway, so there has been a ghost spotted, and Hamlet is mourning his father, and his uncle's just like, stop doing that, even though it's only been 2 months since his father died. And that's about it. That's all that's happened. So we're gonna dive into this a little bit more, and we're gonna read some more of this. Wow, I spent a half an hour talking about myself. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's dive in. It's been too long. Okay, so Hamlet's the only one on stage right now, but Horatio and Marcellus and Bernardo are about to come in. So Horatio, Marcellus, and Bernardo, if you are not familiar, are the guards that work at the palace. No, the castle. Not a palace. It's a castle. Get it right. Come on, XB. Anyway. So Horatio says, "Hails, your lordship." And Hamlet says, "I'm glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself?" Wow. Damn. So Hamlet doesn't even acknowledge like that he knows Horatio. I think he's familiar with Horatio, but I'm not 100%. Hold up. Let me turn the page. Okay. Horatio is, because if I remember correctly, yeah, he's a friend of Hamlet's. So I don't know why he's like, Horatio. Wait, do I forget your name? And Horatio's like, "Oh, the same, my lord, and your poor servant ever." Oh, Horatio is also just like, he's like, "I'm ready to serve you at any time, Hamlet." Come at me, Daddy Hamlet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a stream for everyone, even families. And then Hamlet says, "Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what make you with Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus?" Marcellus says, "My good lord." So Hamlet's just acknowledging all of them, just so you know. Because when he says Marcellus, he's just like, "Marcellus?" And Marcellus is like, "My good lord." And they're just saying hello. And Hamlet says, "I'm very glad to see you." And then he turns to Bernardo. "Good even, sir. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?" And Horatio responds, because apparently Bernardo can't speak for himself. And he says, "A truant disposition, good my lord." And Hamlet said, "I would not hear your enemy say so." "Nor shall you do my ear that violence, to make it truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are not truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart." So Hamlet's like, we're so I know, I need some hats. I actually don't own any hats, Lorenzo. I should probably get some, honestly. That would be very helpful for this stream. It would help with the distinguishing of the characters. Wow, that character is so distinguished. And so is the other one. They're so distinguishable from each other. So, yeah, so, what's his name? Hamlet. Hamlet's just like, what are you doing here, guys? I don't understand why you're in the castle or like what you're doing around here. And Horatio says, my lord, I came to see your father's funeral. And Hamlet said, I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding. So the funeral already happened, just so you know. So I think the funeral happened like a month ago. And Horatio said, oh, I came for your father's funeral. And Hamlet's just like, I don't know why you said that, 'cause it's over. The wedding just happened, though. Oh, BT dubs. A fun little factaroony that is so comfortable for everyone. Hamlet's uncle married Hamlet's mom. Which, honestly, now that I kind of reflect on it, right? Not that I'm trying to justify it. But, like, there are a lot of tropes like this in movies, right? Where you see the sister is who, like, the husband is cheating on the wife with, or vice versa, where the brother is who the wife is cheating on the husband with, right? Not that the queen wanted to marry him, but at the same time, it's kind of like the idea of, well, maybe it's not that weird. I mean, they're not related, so it's not that weird. But I mean, it's still kind of weird from the perspective of being Hamlet, because I guess, oh, good night to Jokos. Have a good night. Thank you. With the perspective of, you know, all of that, I think, I don't know, it would be weird if my dad was like, I'm marrying your aunt now, who's your mom's sister. I'd be like, that's weird. But also at the same time, I feel like siblings are very different most of the time. So it'd be very strange if that happened, because that would mean that the person that you were with maybe wasn't actually that compatible with you. and may, I don't know. But maybe, I don't know, because siblings usually will have similar sense of humor, I guess, or things like that, but I don't know. Okay, continuing on. Horatio says, indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon. And Hamlet says, thrift, thrift, Horatio, the funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio, my father. Methinks I see my father. And Hamlet's just like, oh, I think I see my father. But it's not going to be like how Horatio saw his father, which Horatio saw him in ghost form, mind you. So anybody would think he's kind of crazy. And Horatio says, oh, where, my lord? So Horatio's getting a little bit excited because he's like, oh, Hamlet saw his dad too. And Hamlet's saying, in my mind's eye, Horatio. So Hamlet's just like, yeah, I have him in my mind. I have his love and my thoughts and blah, 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 blah. And Horatio said, I saw him once. He was a goodly king. And Hamlet said, he was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again. And Horatio said, my lord, I think I saw him yesternight. And Hamlet said, saw? Who? So, I don't know why I'm saying this as though it's like a children's book reading. But anyway, so Horatio's like, I think I saw your dad yesterday. And Hamlet's like, you saw what? And then Horatio said, my lord, the king, your father. And Hamlet says, the king? My father? And Horatio says, season your admiration for a while with an attent ear till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel you. So Horatio's just like, yeah, I think I saw your dad, dude. And let these other dudes tell you what happened. Except, guess what? He's not going to let the other two dudes tell the story. That's their story to tell. Horatio's like, let these two dudes tell you. And then Hamlet's going to be like, what? And Horatio's going to go, well, let me tell you something. I feel like Horatio's kind of like the friend who doesn't shut up and who's just like, let me tell the story. I'm better at telling stories than any of them. So Hamlet says, for God's love, let me hear. And Horatio butts in and he's like, I have it. For God's love, 2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead vast in middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pie. means head to foot. Oh, kappa-pie. I'm guessing it's kappa-pie because pie in Spanish means foot. So if it means head to foot, it's probably like a Latin phrase or something. Anyway, appears before them with solemn march, goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes within these truncheons' length, whilst they distill it, almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I with them the third night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered both in time form of the thing, each word made true and good, the apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like. So Horatio's just like, look, this is what happened. And I kind of went over this the other day. So, like, I know it's a little bit redundant. So they're just like, look, for the past 2 days, we have seen your father. We've seen your father as a ghost. And you should see your father as a ghost. So, he's just like, I know this is your dad. I've met your dad. I've seen your dad before. So you should come and you should see your dad too. And Hamlet says, but where was this? Where was this? Marcellus says, my lord, upon the platform where we watch it. And Hamlet says, did you not speak to it? And Horatio said, my lord, I did. But answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head, and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away, and vanished from our sight. Man, that morning cock really does get in the way of everything, doesn't it? So, Horatio's just like, look, I tried to talk to the ghost. The ghost didn't want to talk to me, okay? And frankly, it's okay. It's whatever. It's fine. So Horatio says, but, whenever I did try to talk to it, it kind of made a motion towards me. But then the rooster was like, hey, yo, it's morning time. Yeah, I know. The rooster was too loud. And then the ghost went, ooh, and then left. Exactly like that. Okay. So then, let's keep going. And Hamlet says, 'tis very strange. Horatio says, as I do live, my honoured lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it. So Horatio's like, look, you are where our duty lies. You are the person that we respect the most. So we wanted to tell you first because we respect you. And Hamlet's like, Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight. And Marcellus and Bernardo, oh, here we go. Here's some unison work. Marcellus and Bernardo go, we do, my lord. And Hamlet says, Armid, you say? Or Armid, say you? And Marcellus and Bernardo say in unison, Armid, my lord. And Hamlet says, from top to toe. And Marcellus and Bernardo say, my lord, from head to foot. Man, that was some good unison work where they say everything at the same time. And Hamlet says, then saw you not his face? And Horatio says, oh yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up. And Hamlet says, what looked he, frowningly? Horatio said, a countenance more in sorrow than in anger. Hamlet, pale or red? Horatio, nay, very pale. Hamlet, and fixed his eyes upon you. And Horatio says, most constantly. Hamlet, I would I had been there. Horatio, it would have much amazed you. Hamlet, very like. Stayed it long. Horatio, while one with moderate haste might tell 100. And Marcellus and Bernardo say in unison, longer. Okay, so essentially what's happening here, right, to break this down for you, is Hamlet's just asking a whole bunch of questions about what happened whenever the ghost was there, right? And so Marcellus and Bernardo are just like kind of feeding these things that are happening in it, and Horatio is also like, this is also what I saw. And Hamlet's just like, was he there? Yes. Was he pale, or what was his skin tone looking like? What did his hands look like? What was his phone number? Are you sure? What did his business card look like? What What was the typeface embossed in the business card, okay? I need to know these things. What was the typeface's size? Anyway. So, Hamlet's just getting the deets. He's getting the dirt. He's getting the hot goss served out piping hot. And Horatio says, not when I saw it. And Hamlet says, his beard was grizzled, no? And Horatio says, it was, as I have seen it in his life, a sable silvered. Silvered. And Hamlet says, I will watch tonight. Sicilian Braille. I know, right? Okay, so. Perchance 'twill walk again. So Hamlet's gonna go and he's gonna go walk. Thanks, Lorenzo. Anyway, Hamlet's gonna watch with the dudes tonight. He's like, dude watch party. Yeah, we're gonna watch this sexy ghost that is my dad walk across the lawn. Yeah. And Horatio says, I warrant it will. And Hamlet says, if I assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I'm so sorry, my my stomach is rumbling really loud. I'm sorry about that. I'm not actually that hungry right now. I'm just always hungry, genuinely. I will requite your loves, so fare you well upon the platform 'twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you. And all of them say, our duty. Oh, wait, here. They're like, so it's 3 of them. Oh, man. How do I make like a 3-way face? I have a ribbon. Here we go. This is my third's face. Our duty to your honor. Yikes. That was the money shot right there. And Hamlet says, your loves is mine to you. Farewell. That was so dumb. And they all exude except for Hamlet. I like how Hamlet always has to have the last word of every scene. Like, what is happening? He's always just like, but wait, I must monologue alone. Wait, goodbye. And Hamlet says, your loves is mine to you, farewell. Oh, wait, no, he already said that. He already said farewell because they already exhumed it. My father's spirit is in my father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play would the night were come. Then, till then sit still, my soul foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes. And then he exits. You think there was a guy in my apartment? I know, right? There were 3 of them, Lorenzo. It was nuts. One of them had a ribbon beard. It was frightening. I've never seen anything like it. Okay. So, we're on scene 3. I think this is the last scene of the act, right? No, it's not. Hold up. It'll probably be the last scene I do today because Act 1 is long. It's a thick boy. Whew, it's 28 pages. Okay, we're on page 15. So we're gonna read scene 3 today. Man, we're really gonna drag out Hamlet again. So, okay. Scene 3. It's because I talked so long today, but I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Fun fact. Fun Friday stream. Yay! So we'll finish Act 1 tomorrow. Hopefully it won't have to be an ASMR stream. Hopefully I can just talk. So, karaoke. Well, so Lorenzo, another fun fact, if you check my schedule, I'm going to do a singing stream on Sundays. I thought that would be a nice little addition to the channel or the stream. It's not YouTube. So, yeah, I'll do a singing stream every Sunday. So, like, it's just a chill thing. You don't have to, like, I don't know. It's just a chill thing. Singing stream. Yeah. It'll be fun. Yeah, Sunday Song Day. Woo! Oh, that's actually a really clever name. Thank you, Lorenzo. Don't trademark it before I can steal it. You can sing if you want, Punk, but I don't know. I'll probably just do like a jazz hour 'cause that's what I know, and then I can like set up a playlist and just do that, and you can just chillax and fall asleep or not fall asleep. I don't know, depending on where you're from, because if it's like one of you is in the UK, so I mean, you know, yeah, Punk, you're in the UK, so that might not be the best for you to fall asleep. But yeah. All right. Have a good night, Captain. Yeah, good morning jazz time. Exactly. It'll be your Sunday, so it'll be good. No, I agree. And then I was also thinking, so like another weird thing is I was thinking of doing a, what's it called? Possibly, well, so I heard, I'm on a tangent again. I love tangents. So, I was doing a little bit of research about like productivity and stuff, and I have not been studying Korean like I'm supposed to. So, I was thinking I might do a Korean study stream as well in the mornings whenever it's like before work time, because I need to come up with a good um structure, and I don't know if I'll like actually do just like teaching Korean stuff or if I'll just like silently study so that I have to just like be there. And I don't really expect anybody to show up for that. I don't know, I don't need anybody for that, but like it'll just keep me responsible and keep me I don't know, something like that. So, yeah. Yay. Um So yeah, that's what's in the idea boat right now. It's just that. So, but yeah, the thing I'm most excited about is like singing on Sunday. That's the thing I'm most excited about. I don't think it would distract me, Lorenzo. I mean, I think it would be good because the thing I like about learning languages, right, is it's mostly about building connections in your brain about how to remember languages. 'Cause I mean, I've studied a lot of different languages. I've studied English. Really? But I also, so I mean, I speak Spanish. I don't want to say fluently because honestly, I shouldn't say that. I should say I'm highly conversational. Um, and I'm pretty good at Italian as well. But I've also learned bits and pieces of French, German, and Slovene, and now I'm learning Korean. I would say Korean is getting up there when it comes to what I'm good at speaking, kind of. I wouldn't say I'm good at it. I would say I'm okay. And no, I need to build those connections, and it's also good too to like have people ask me questions, because if people ask me questions about what I'm learning about, it makes me think about it more, and then it'll help me remember too, which is good. So I don't mind if people talk to me while I'm learning languages. If anything, it helps, because then I'm not just like sitting in a room being like, ah, thank you, Lorenzo, you know. I'm getting into this thing called Old English. Oof. It's pretty intense. It's not, it's pretty insane over here. Let me tell you. Wow. So, all right. Let's read this third scene and then let's hit it, man. Hit it and quit it, just like Shakespeare would have done, right? Okay. Here we go. So we're getting introduced to Laertes and Ophelia. So Laertes is the brother of Ophelia. And they're both the children of Polonius, if I remember correctly. Am I remembering correctly? Polonius, Lord Chamberlain. Laertes, son of Polonius. Ophelia. Where's Ophelia? Daughter to Polonius. Yes. I wonder if Laertes and Ophelia are full brother and sister or half brother and sister. It makes a difference. As somebody with only half siblings, I think it makes a difference. There's a divide. There's a little bit of a divide. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a big divide, but also, I mean, to be fair, I have a big age gap between all of my siblings and myself, but I would say most of the people that I know who have full siblings versus half siblings, like, they're really close with their full siblings, but like anybody that I know with half siblings, it's just like whatever. I have a half sibling. I don't know them that well. So, I don't know. Maybe it's that really just defines their relationship. But I'm going to guess they're full siblings, and I'm going to hope that they don't get together through this. So, anyway, Laertes and Ophelia come in. Oh yeah, I don't like Ophelia. I forgot about that. Okay. Sorry. Let's create a neutral opinion about Ophelia. Okay. So, Laertes and Ophelia come in, and Laertes says, "My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy and assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you." So Laertes is about to like set sail. As I drop this book, he's about to set sail. Where? I think he's like going to go visit someone. Anyway, oh yeah, by the way, where are we in the world? We're in a room. But more specifically, we're in a room in Polonius's house. And Ophelia says, "Do you doubt that?" So Ophelia's just like, "Are you sure?" Thank you, Lorenzo. I feel ya. I think Ophelia's picking up that Laertes doesn't necessarily feel that his journey is going to be the best or the safest, and he's just like, "Okay, Ophelia, make sure that you write me by the time that I get there," which doesn't make sense, because like, wouldn't she have to send the letter at the same time that he leaves? Just saying. Anyway, Laertes says, "For Hamlet and the trifling of his favour holded in fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature forward, not permanent, sweet, nor lasting. The perfume and the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more." And Ophelia says, "No more but so?" And Laertes says, "Think it no more, for nature crescent does not grow alone in the news and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor caudle doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear his greatness weighed. His will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state, and therefore must his choice be circumscribed." Oh my God. Put on your seatbelt. "Unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then wait what lost your honour may sustain, if with too credential ear you list his songs, or lose your heart or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariest, aka the most modest maid, is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself scapes, not calumnus strokes. The canker galls the infants of the spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed, and in the morn and dew, liquid dew of youth, contagious blastment." Oh my God. This is quite a monologue. "Contagious blastments are most imminent. Be wary then, best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else hears." No, none else near. Okay, so hold on. Essentially, he's telling his sister to be safe, right? So he's just like, "Look, you're interested in Hamlet, right? But this young love is always fleeting. Okay? So you could, I don't know how to describe it. Someone could say that they love you or they care about you or blah 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 blah, right? But at the end of the day, if they don't see it through, or if they don't come and prove it to you, then what's behind it, Like, what's really there?" And so he's just like, "The truest and most beautiful of women, the best of women, always stay chaste and save themselves and don't don't bang anyone." Oh, I see it says don't bang anyone, not don't bring anyone. You said don't bring anyone. I was trying to explain it. But yeah, don't sleep with anyone because you want to maintain that beautiful, pure, chaste image that you have, right? Which is interesting to me because it seems that Ophelia is always trying to interfere with that chaste view. But it seems that she's doing that with... Wait, sorry. Let's go into this with a neutral view. This is why I don't read the plays beforehand. It's because otherwise I'll spoil things. Okay, so Ophelia says, I shall the effect of this great lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good, my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst, like a puffed and reckless libertine himself, the primrose path of dalliance treads and recks not his own reed. So, essentially she's just like, okay, you tell me this, but if you tell me this, you also can't be doing stupid stuff and wrecking other women or taking away your chaste lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Okay, don't bang anybody either, bro. If I'm chaste, you're chaste. Deal? Let's go. So Laertes says, oh, fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes. I like how he just avoided. He's like, yeah, totally. Oh, here comes Polonius. Here's our father. And then Polonius comes in. Polonius says, and Laertes says, a double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave. So Laertes is just like, hello, father. How are you? Oh, I'm so glad. I get to tell you goodbye as well. And Laertes, strap in for Polonius, 'cause like father, like son, let me tell you. Polonius says, yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail. Let's try that again. That's a tongue twister. The wind sits in the shoulder. Oh my god. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory look thou character, give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportionate thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast in their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new hatchet unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it, that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not express it in fancy, rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee. I know I nailed it, right? Thanks, Lorenzo. Thanks for the encouragement. Oh man, for reals. Okay. So Polonius is now giving advice to Laertes, as Laertes was just giving advice to his sister, even though it was dumb advice. Don't try to control my life, Laertes. Anyway, so Laertes is trying to tell him, he's like, here's my blessing, blah, blah. I hope everything goes well. Try not to get into any fights. Try not to start any kind of, tension with anybody. Don't get into any beef, right? This line is very famous. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, right? Because, if you loan, it means that, you lose both the loan and your friend, right? Because if you loan to a friend, money makes things awkward. Let's be honest here for a second, right? Don't let the wind sit on your sail's shoulders. Right. Let it blow your sail. Anyway, no, so yeah, if you loan money to another or you loan anything to another, it can break the relationships that you have, but if you borrow from somebody, it makes your relationships become weaker as well, right? So just work with what you've got. And this is my blessing for you. And Laertes is like, most humbly do I take my leave, my lord. And Polonius says, the time invites you. Go, your servants tend. And Laertes says, farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you. And Ophelia says, 'tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it. So Laertes is like, don't forget, don't have sex. And Ophelia's like, okay, bye. And Laertes is like, farewell. And he exits. And Polonius says, what is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you? Polonius wants to get in on this tea too, and Ophelia says, so please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet. Oh, okay. So Ophelia has in her mind that she's going to be with Hamlet, right? And Polonius says, marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me in that way, and that in way of caution I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behoves my daughter in your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth. So Polonius is like, okay, Hamlet's been taking up a lot of your time, and it seems that you've been willing to give up a lot of your time. What's going on between you guys? Like, are you guys gonna get married? Are you guys gonna be in a relationship? Right? And Ophelia says, he hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me. And Polonius says, affection? Pooh! You speak like a green girl unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them? So he's basically calling her like this. What is it? He's calling her very naive. He's basically like, oh, you're falling for this act that Hamlet is putting on for you. You're okay with him being like, I like you, even though he probably doesn't actually like you. And she's going to reply with, I do not know, my lord, what I should think. And Polonius says, marry, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby. Why does she have to put herself in the perspective of a baby? But whatever, okay. That you have taken these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus, you'll tender me a fool. So Polonius is like, look, he's not giving you, is Hamlet a fuckboy? I don't think Hamlet is a fuckboy. But the thing is, right, so we only have one side of the story. Because Ophelia is telling them that she's spending all of this time with Hamlet, but like, I don't remember very well, but like, is she actually hanging out with Hamlet? Or is something else happening? Is she actually like doing things with him? Has she actually agreed to marry him? Does she actually have the idea in her mind that she's going to marry him? I don't know. That's the real question, though. We only have one perspective on this, right? And so Ophelia says, my lord, he hath inopportuned me with love and honorable fashion. So, yeah, Polonius is just like, don't sell yourself short. And Ophelia's like, oh, but he told me he's going to love me forever. Polonius says, aye, fashion you may call it. Go to. And Ophelia says, and he hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven. And Polonius says, I springs to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise, as it is a making. You must not take for fire. From this time be something scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. For Lord Hamlet, believe so much in him that he is young, with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways. And Ophelia says, I shall obey, my lord. So they exeunt, okay? So that's the end of the scene. But Polonius is just like, look, Guys like that are only looking for one thing: Magic the Gathering cards. And this man is going to steal all of your Magic the Gathering cards if you are not careful. You need to hold your cards very close to you, okay? And if you do not have your cards on you at all times, he is going to steal them from you, from under you, and they are going to be gone, okay? So make sure you always, always, always know where your Magic the Gathering cards are. Got it? And she's like, got it. Okay? That's it. That's all we did today. Sick. No, that's yeah, right? I know, right? No. So that's essentially it. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate you coming in. I was really excited to stream today. I was grading papers and I was like, ooh, I can't wait to read. I've been reading a lot lately too, on the side for funsies, because I don't just read Shakespeare on stream. I also read as well other things. Because I mean, not that this isn't for fun for me, but I also really enjoy reading other things as well. I'm reading 1984 right now. I'm almost finished with it, actually. A friend of mine let me borrow it. And I'm enjoying it. I never got to read it in high school, but it's a really fun read. I like it. I'm not finished yet, so please don't spoil it. Says the person who spoils pretty much every book that they read on stream. If they know anything about it. Is it plus good? It's plus good. It might even be double plus good. But so I like it. I'm excited to see how it ends, and see what I think, because I know, right? Well, no, I read the appendix before I got really into it, because it was like, refer to the appendix if you want to understand how Newspeak works. And I was like, okay, I'll read the appendix. So I read the appendix and I thought it was good. I mean, it's an interesting, the idea of reducing vocabulary, right? So I know this is completely different. So if you're just like absolutely bored out of your mind and you don't want to hear me talk about 1984, that's totally fine. Or you don't have any context about it, you can do a quick Wikipedia search about it. But okay, so the interesting thing about Newspeak, right, is just the idea that, right, they have this reduction of vocabulary, which I think is such a cool way to assert dominance over an entire society. And it's a really good way to do it, right? Because there are so many words that we do have in our vocabulary, which, you know, related to language learning, right? We have so much ability. We have so many things to learn, and so it's really hard to express ourselves fully in a language that isn't our first language, right? But with that limitation of vocabulary, you're not able to fully express yourself, and therefore you can't express yourself, right? And right, it limits dissent. And it slows down the ability to, well, it reduces the ability to cause any kind of, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. What's the word? Not extreme. Extreme. Right. Well, of course, yes. Grouping people makes them easier to control, of course. But I would say when it comes to thinking of being an outlier regarding thoughts. Right. Exactly. Well, that's exactly what it's about, right? Because I mean, with Newspeak, right? They're able to fully just automate the language, essentially, because with the language that we have now, right? It's very superfluous. Big word. And it's exciting, and it offers almost a kind of freedom, right? Where people can express things in a way that they wouldn't normally be able to. So, for instance, one one thing that I do a lot is if I'm walking around and I'm talking about a subject that I don't necessarily want people to understand that are around me. Because I mean, people in Korea, some people speak English and a lot of people will speak like very basic English. But if I don't want people to understand what I'm saying, I'll use very superfluous language. I'll use a lot of very big words. So that people don't know what I'm talking about. But I mean, with the idea of Newspeak, that wouldn't be possible. And I think that's really interesting. Words offer the means to meaning. And for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think too, so I talked about this a little bit. I've been looking into a little bit. I've been looking into mindfulness a little bit too, right? And so this idea of listening, you know, in 1984, you don't see a lot of people who are actually listening. And one thing, so, I haven't been able to really talk about 1984 with anybody who like really knows a whole lot about it, or like people who've read it, but I don't know how to pronounce the name. Is it Loivan or Lojban? I don't know. But I really dislike the female protagonist because I know she's younger, and so she was nice. Thank you, Lorenzo. I will write it down though. When I get a pen and paper, and I will write it after the stream is over. But no, I really dislike the female protagonist because she's just very sheep-like. She rebels for the sake of rebelling rather than for an actual cause. Like, she doesn't have any thought behind it. It's more, I just want to rebel because it feels cool, right? And it's not, there's no actual meaning behind it, and it's kind of frustrating, and I understand the feeling of what is it? I kind of relate to the main character. Man, I'm so bad with names. I think his name is Wilson. But yeah, I'm probably getting that wrong. I relate to Wilson a lot because he gets really frustrated with her because she doesn't have a reason. She doesn't have a good reason, and she falls asleep anytime he's reading to her, right? She doesn't actually fully listen to what's happening and to what he understands about the world, because he has a perspective outside of what's actually happening. He has a perspective of the world before it was happening, but I mean, it's very foggy, but I think it's just very interesting, and it's a good reflective piece as well. Just to think about, well, what is happening in the world right now, and what do I want to think about? So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And then I've been getting into my new job. My new job is great. I've been reading lots of books for that too, because I teach literature, which honestly, I didn't know I was going to be a literature teacher whenever I started doing this, and honestly, it's been kind of a cool journey to be able to do this too. So it helps me to be able to do my job better, because I can do I mean, I teach children obviously, but it's neat to be able to kind of have this section of my life too where I do this, but I get to choose what books I want to read, and I get to do what I want to do. So that's really fun. Yeah, she did grow up with the limited language, right, Punk? And she grew up with an edition of Newspeak, because I mean, by the time we get to this book, they're on the 11th edition, right? And so yeah, already she just doesn't know how to express herself fully like he does, which is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, because they were talking about by 2050, no one's going to really be able to understand what you're saying unless you're speaking Newspeak, which is so nuts, but it's also so cool because it's such an interesting way to have that perspective. Because I mean, hypothetically speaking, right, she's only in her 20s by the time it's 1984. So I mean, even then, she would probably be dead by the time it's 2050, right? And she barely understands what typical traditional English is, right? So by the time they get to Newspeak, fully automated. No one will be able to understand it, which is, oh, that's so cool, but it's also so nuts and it's so terrible, but it's such a cool concept, and it's really creative and I really like it. So I like classical literature. I mean, I know 1984 is a classic, obviously, and people like it for a reason. So yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I should stop talking and I should eat something because I am hungry. And that is the thing that I want to do. So thank you so much for coming. I always enjoy this. This is always a really good time for me, and I really enjoy seeing everybody here all the time. Everybody here all the time. So I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully we'll finish Act 1 tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking will happen. So we don't have that much left of Act 1. So yeah, and I'm thinking we can just like take our time with these things. So yeah. All right. Well, have a good day, or have a good night, or have a good whatever you're doing. And I will see you tomorrow, actually. So goodbye.